have helped them heal. Nora O'Donnell, NBC News, Crownsville, Maryland.
And that's Nightly News for this Friday night. Thank you for being with us. Brian Williams will be back here on Monday. I'm David Gregory, and I'll see you Sunday on Meet the Press. Good night.
The president has called the economy job number one. People are scared, they're uneasy, but we're all in this together. You want to have somebody with you making sense of it all.
Weeknights, there's one thing on her mind.
Yep, we're talking politics.
The Rachel Maddow Show, weeknights on MSNBC, the place for politics.
Now, this is News 6 at 6 in high definition.
First at 6, from healthcare to education, money troubles prompts a talk from Governor Quinn, who warns about $1 billion in cuts and layoffs unless something gives. Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Whitney.
And I'm Nicole Marks. Thank you for joining us. Well, there's never a good time when talking about budget cuts and layoffs, but Friday afternoon does soften the blow somewhat. Governor Quinn today is announcing how he will cut more than $1 billion from the budget. There will be more than 2,000 less state employees, and you will see big cuts for college students as well as state prisons. News 6's Marian Ahern reports.
Governor Pat Quinn, along with his chief of...
Governor Quinn is still pushing for an income tax hike and hopes the General Assembly will revisit that proposal in October.
Now to another big story that we are following tonight. New discovery in the Burr Oak Cemetery scandal. 3 new grave sites unearthed, revealing more evidence in a case that has already affected so many people. News 6's Phil Rogers, who first broke the story weeks ago, is live on the scene in Elsip with new details. Good evening, Phil.
Good evening. You know, when your family buys a burial plot, it is supposed to be yours. You are not supposed to get an uninvited guest who shares that plot for all of eternity. But authorities say this evening they now have proof that was happening here. Authorities had hoped to reopen this cemetery by August 1st, which is, of course, tomorrow. But Dart said while his investigation is winding down, this is still very much a crime scene. He called what he has found here today mind-boggling. Live in Elsip, Phil Rogers.
All right, thanks so much, Phil. Fire and rescue crews respond to a violent explosion on Chicago's northwest side today. It was a breaking story, but first brought to you during our news at 4:30. A dentist's office exploded just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. The office reportedly contained tanks of oxygen and propane, and it is believed that the gases had caused the explosion. One person was hospitalized in serious to critical condition.
Well, it became so popular so fast, now the Cash for Clunkers program needs some more fuel. The incentive plan gives consumers up to $4,500 if they trade in their old clunker for a new, more fuel-efficient vehicle. But as News 6's Charlie Wachahusky reports for us tonight, there's still hope for many of you hoping to get behind the wheel of a brand new car.
For the first time in months, cars are starting to roll off this Downers Grove lot.
Swinging in the wind and providing the stimulus.
In Downers Grove, Charlie Wachahusky.
Now, the Cash for Clunkers program was originally supposed to run through November 1st.
A well-known Chicago minister has died suddenly. The Reverend Leonard Barr is seen on the right in this picture with former Governor Rod Blagojevich. It's kind of hard to see in this picture. Oh, there he is. Barr was one of the ministers who counseled Blagojevich at his North Side home after the former governor was arrested. Barr was an associate minister at Chicago's Fellow Missionary Baptist Church. He died of a heart attack. Leonard Barr was just 56 years old.
Up next here at 6, a scare today in the West Loop. The bomb squad is sent to Oprah Studios.
And let the weddings, baptisms, and masses begin. 6 months after a fire struck Holy Name Cathedral, it reopens its doors this weekend. A sneak peek inside is coming up next.
And it was a pretty nice day outside, but it's a rain for the weekend. Jake will be up later with his full forecast. Peggy?
I'm Peggy Kaczynski at Bears Camp in Bourbonnais. Sea of number 6 Bear jerseys by Bear fans. And all eyes on number 6 on the field. We'll have the latest on Jay Cutler's debut at Bears Camp coming up live in the sports.
You're watching News 6 at 6 in high definition.
A moment of panic for some Oprah staffers. Police investigate a suspicious package outside Harpo Studios today. A A security guard first spotted the book bag with wires hanging out of it in a flower bed this morning. The CPD bomb squad blocked off streets and evacuated the building until they determined it was harmless. Oprah was not there at the time. Police are still trying to determine what exactly was in the bag.
Senator Dick Durbin is calling on the federal government to help monitor Chicago's beaches. He wrote a letter to the Environmental Protection Agency asking that our beaches be included in a rapid water testing program. Now, that program would alert Illinois officials immediately if there is something wrong with the water. Now, the results are not available for at least a day.
We've got to give everyone who comes out to a beach, whether it's an adult or a family with children, the peace of mind to know that these waters are safe for people to splash around in, for the kids to play in.
Now, that urgent request comes following a report this week that shows problems with Lake Michigan water, including above average E. coli levels.
Holy Name Cathedral opens for Mass this weekend. A couple exchanged vows there today, nearly 6 months after fire damaged the roof of the historic building. It forced the cathedral to close its doors. Weekend Mass will once again be held in the cathedral starting tomorrow. The cost of that repair will end up being $8 million.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Still ahead here on News 6, the new face of the recession. Plus, these tough times turn video game lovers into winners.
And it's one of Chicago's oldest, most beloved summertime traditions, and we'll take you there when we come back.
Now, coming up tonight on Dateline, Dangerous Liaisons, an in-depth look at the murder of Ronnie Ryder, the pregnant girlfriend of former Bear Sean Gale. Marnie Yang is charged with that crime. Now tonight, they will follow the trail of clues that led to Yang's arrest. Here's a preview.
Two different women, less than 2 months apart. Sean has said the letters were filled with lies, but did they contain clues to the killer's identity?
That's Dangerous Liaisons tonight on Dateline at 9 p.m. following a Dateline special on the Michael Jackson investigation.
Well, there is a new face of the recession, the experienced worker. Jobless rates for employees 55 and older are at their highest level since the Great Depression. In previous recessions, veteran workers were largely spared the pain of the widespread job cuts. But the Bureau of Labor says this time it is the young workers who kept their jobs and let the aging baby boomers who have been let go. And with the recession zapping consumer spending, the video game industry is looking for a way to win back customers. Analysts say to expect a flurry of big-name new releases, but more importantly, something the industry never does. They are going to cut the prices of the consoles.
Do you need a nap? I certainly do, but I shouldn't feel bad because a new survey says 1 in 3 Americans take a little afternoon siesta. And we're not talking about babies and people over 80, but the random survey of 1,400 adults reveals young adults are just as likely to take a nap as retirees.